All right, everybody. So let's talk about some specs on these devices. So we're talking about, again, the Zumo XT2 and comparing to the Thork Racing DMD 665 and 865. So going to go through what I think are some of the more important things to look at when you're looking at these devices. So the first thing I want to look at is size. So when you're looking at the size, the Zumo XT2 is 6 inch. The phone from DMD or from Thork Racing is 6 inches. The tablet is 8 inches. So the 865 is 8.15 by 5.4 by zero point 0.6 inches. The 665 is 6.4 inches by 3 inches by 0.57, and the Zumo is 6.15 by 3.5 by 1. So as you can see, obviously the 665 and the Zumo are pretty close. The 665 phone is about almost half the depth, so it's a little bit thinner than the Zumo, which I think is nice too. Obviously the tablet is larger, which is why I got it and why I like it. Now, looking at weights, and so just as a FYI too, so I'm on the Garmin website, and then on Thork Racing's website, you can pull up the spec list that they have listed here. So that's kind of where I'm getting some of this data from. On Thork Racing, if you go to navigation and Android devices, you can select either device and see the specs. So next up, let's talk about weight. So the 8 inch tablet is going to be 528 grams. The 6 inch phone, DMD 665 phone, is going to be 280 grams. And the Zumo XT2 is 340 grams. So, again, looking at apples to apples, the 6 inch phone is lighter than the Zumo XT2. I have the 8 inch tablet. I don't think it's heavy. It's pretty lightweight. I don't see any issues with the weight from the tablet at all. Next up, let's talk about storage. So storage, there are some differences here. The 6 inch and the 8 inch tablet and phone both have 64 gigabytes of internal storage. The Zumo XT2 has 32 gigabytes. The other difference is they all do have micro SD card slots. The Zumo XT2 has a maximum card limit of 256 gigabytes, whereas I'm not aware of any limit on the tablet or the phone. I actually have a 512 gigabyte Samsung Evo micro SD card in there, and it works fine. It shows all the available space with no issues. So that is something to think about if you do need to store a bunch of things on there. I don't know where you would ever fill 500 gigabytes of storage on that tablet, but it's possible. I'm sure somebody can do it. So that is something to think about as well. But the internal storage is twice the size on the phone and tablet. Now, one reason for this too is, remember, the operating system, which we'll talk about, but the phone and the tablet from Thork is Android based, so it's going to need more storage for downloading things off Play Store and those apps, etc. Next up, let's talk about waterproof rating. Again, there is a difference here, and so the Thork Racing tablet and phone, they are both IP67 rated. You know what that means is they're both rated for certain waterproofness and dust. The difference here is the Zumo XT2 and the original Zumo are only IPX7. So that means they don't have any dust rating, which for me, I never had an issue with that on my Zumo, but it was also protected by a fairing and a windscreen where it was. So I never had any big issues with dust. But I could see those that have them highly exposed. It's possible. It is nice having that extra dust rating just in case, especially for all these adventure riders that are utilizing this, whether it's dust, sand, um, gravel. I do a lot of gravel riding, so there's a ton of gravel dust. So it's nice to have that rating as well. Next up, let's talk about the displays. So the tablet is a 1280 by 800 resolution IPS display. It's 800 nits. So nit rating kind of tells you as far as brightness goes. Especially if you have a lot of direct sunlight, you want a higher nit screen. The phone is also 800 nits. The resolution is a little different. It's 1140 by 720 because it's a 6-inch phone. The Zumo XT2 is a 1280 by 720. It's a TFT screen, and it's 1050 nits. So it's got a higher nit rating. It is a different type of screen. I believe the IPS screen on the tablet and phone, you'd have a better viewing at a large angle, so you can see it from the side a lot better than you would a TFT screen. Not that that makes a ton of difference since you're right behind it when you're on the bike, but that is something to note. The IPS screen is different on the Thork Racing DMD devices. Again, it has 250 more nit rating. I've always liked the Zumo screens. They're very bright. Never had any issues with sunlight. I haven't had any issues with the DMD device either, so no issues there. And I do have the screen protector on, and I just crank up the brightness, and it does really well, even with my transition lens on my helmet. GPS sensors, they really boast a lot of the same sensors. I think something to add on to this is on the tablet that I have, it does have screw-in external GPS antennas. I don't know that they're needed. I know on the website, Thork Racing boasts, that the GPS precision is higher than most of the dedicated GPS units out there. I don't know how this really compares to Zumo, but in my time, excuse me, in my time using the Zumo, I've never had maybe one or two issues over the thousands and thousands of miles with any precision. Again, with the DMD device I've been using, no issues at all. I've actually been very surprised on how accurate and how quick it is to get on target. So really, really good. And it will show you your precision on the app. So when you are looking at your tablet or phone, it will tell you what that precision is, which is nice. The next thing I want to talk about is the battery. So the tablet comes with an 8,000 milliamp battery. The phone is a 4,000, obviously being smaller. The Zumo, I'm unsure of the exact size. I know the XT was about a 3,000. I assume that may be a little bit more now with it being a little bit bigger screen. I'm assuming under 4,000. I did test the battery on the tablet. I turned it up to 100% brightness to see how long it would last. Downloaded some GPX files, did some other things, downloaded some maps for different states, etc. I got 8 hours and 20 minutes on max brightness, and I still had about 2% left. And so that's pretty good. Obviously, that battery is about double the size of the others, but 8 hours is more than enough time, since most of us would be charging this all day long while on the bike. Garmin does boast a 5-hour runtime at 100% backlight. So again, probably enough for the average person. I will say on mine, I had some issues with the charging cradle here and there. I don't know if it was just the contacts getting dirty, but I had a couple times where my GPS, my Zumo, just would not charge. And so I would have loved to have an 8-hour battery life because it died once or twice on a trip that I was doing. So that's the only time I could see that coming in handy. Otherwise, the run times are fine for, I think, all of these, to be quite honest. The next thing is SIM card slots. So the Zumo obviously doesn't have any SIM card slots. This is where the DMD devices have a one up if you choose to do that from a data perspective. I chose not to do that. I am just using a hotspot on my phone and connect via Wi-Fi to get anything that I may need if I'm not at the house. There's probably some benefits to having a SIM card and using a cell phone plan. I just don't I don't see it as an advantage for what I use it for. I know they're coming out with a crash detection system potentially on the new DMD devices, and I believe that's going to use SIM card data at first. So that would be nice to be able to use that if needed, but I don't see it as a must-have. Yeah. I do want to refer to Adventure Tim's website. So this is someone that you can go. This is a US based. He does deal in the Thork Racing devices. He did a blog. And so if you have any questions about SIM card usage specifically on these devices, it's a lot of really good information on what may or may not work. So I highly recommend kind of just read through this blog from him as well. And this is also another potential option to purchase the devices. Next up, cameras. The Zumo does not have a camera. The DMD devices do. They have a 16 megapixel rear facing camera, so is an option. There are no camera stabilizers, so that's good from a vibration perspective. I don't see myself using that personally, using my phone, but it's nice to have another backup. Say your phone camera were to go out or something happen, you can grab your DMD device and take a picture or two. Charging and connections, USB-C. So USB-C is becoming more and more popular. Most devices are switching over to that now. So I'm glad that all three devices are USB-C. Makes it easy to switch in between things and charge and connect to computers, etc. So that's all the same. Mounts. So I do want to show the mounts for the DMD devices. So if I go to the tablet here, it does come with what I think is a really nice mount. Personally, it is a lockable mount, which is great. I always want a lockable mount on any GPS I own. It gives me a little bit of peace of mind when I walk away from it. Not to say that they can't be broken into, but it at least keeps them honest. And so the lock that comes with it comes with integrated power. I have it connected through my fairing. I have a relay behind my dashboard on my fairing, which is great. It has data cables to run the controller that they just came out with. So really nice, really well thought out, I think, personally. Um, and on the DMD tablet device that I have, it has kind of a metal frame inside of it, and it has indentions to line up in the mount to make sure that it's getting a good seating right every time, which is great. Again, this comes with your tablet and device when you buy it. This is not extra. And if you do want to buy an extra one for another bike, very, very affordable. On the phone itself, this comes with a magnetic um, mount. So this does not come with a lockable mount for the phone, but you can buy a cradle lock. Again, very affordable. And you can purchase that to have a lock for the phone as well. Now, mounting for the Zumo, I think we all, for those that are familiar with Zumos, it comes with the very standard mount and charging cable. There are aftermarket options available. I ran the Touratech Cradle with the lock. Very nice, very well built in my mind, but very expensive. So that is an option. I think it's Moto Pumps. They also offer a lockable option, a little bit cheaper. I think half the cost, maybe even more than the Touratech option. But there are options out there. I just think the ones that Thork is providing, especially either with it or at a minimal cost, you can't beat it. And we'll go over pricing here in a minute. Software, if you're looking at software comparison, so that's a big thing with these DMD devices is they utilize the DMD2, which is drive mode dashboard software. You can download it on Google Play Store. You can get it on any Android device, which a lot of people have done that, and they use it on their normal Samsung phone, whatever you have, and utilize it there. I always have my phone as my backup GPS, and so that's why I went with a tablet route on my end, or maybe the phone. I do want to look at that as another option too. But to me, having that Android based system, it just lets you do so many more things with it. Customization, downloading apps. You can download weather apps. Um, you can connect a OBD2 Bluetooth to your bike and get all the data streams from it and display it on your tablet or on the phone. So for me, with a 701 Enduro, my gauge is very minimal. It doesn't give me a lot, and so for that bike, being able to pull the coolant temps, voltage, RPMs, that's great to have that option for me. And so mine's a 2018 Husky 701 Enduro, and I use an old Bluetooth device that I've used for years, plugged it in, and went through the settings on the app, and it connected right up and works great. So no issues there. Thork Racing does have, and I'll link it below, but they have a list of bikes that it it will work with, and then they also sell um, a OBD2 product that you can buy that's real popular here. So you can buy this DMD OBD2 scan module, and then if you need a Euro 5 cable, you can do that as well. It plugs right into your bike, and off you go. So great options there. Now on the Zumo side, obviously it's the Garmin software that they utilize and have been utilizing. They have updated it for the XT2. Looks a little bit cleaner than the old one. Again, I don't actually own the XT2 personally and used it like I used the XT. To me, it's apples and oranges. The Android interface, so many are used to it. You can do so much with it. Garmin is just limited. You can only do so much with it. So um, it's good, especially if a lot of other people are using a Zumo. You can use some of those Garmin options like ride share, and I think they have like a ride radio, which most people use Cardos or Cenas now, anyways, to talk. But I think the one thing you can do is share your location between the similar devices. But I think Thork Racing and DMD, they're working on this as well to have that option available. So in my mind, the DMD devices win on that one for sure from a software perspective. The next thing is warranty. So warranty, the Zumo is a 1 year limited warranty. You can get extended warranties, 2 years, 3 years. I think I think Amazon over Christmas was offering a 2 year warranty with purchase. So it's possible that you can get the 2 year for no extra cost. I'm not sure. The DMD does come with a 2 year warranty already, so pretty good. Hopefully, we don't have to use that, but it's good to know you have a 2 year warranty, especially on a somewhat newer product. I mean, these are pretty new, and they're just now really getting tested out there. Lately, I've been seeing lot more videos, a lot more um, discussions on the pages. It seems like more and more folks are realizing this is out there, and they really want to try it out. So it's going to be interesting to see the reliability and as these devices get tested, the durability of the devices. Accessories. So as far as DMD goes, this is specific to the phone. So you have the charging base that comes with it. Obviously, all the cables, you can do a USB cable to connect for charging as well. They have the cradle lock here, as you can see. Couple just other accessories that you can get, different base plates, etc. But for the tablet specific, since that's one I have, they do have a screen protector, which I do have. It's pretty nice. Works pretty well. They have a car mount. They have a sunshade, which I haven't used. I don't think I need it. Um, it does pretty good without that, personally. They have this external GPS antenna that you can get if you need that as well. I could see maybe an overlander that you have it in your car, hooking up an external GPS maybe, but otherwise I just don't see the need for that. And then they have a carry bag that you can also purchase as well. Zumo, not a lot of accessories, but you don't, with these devices, you don't need a lot of accessories anyways. So you have the mounts that you can get. There are no official Garmin Zumo um, screen protectors. I think they actually have a warning or a message somewhere stating that they did not test the Zumos with a screen protector, and so if it rains, it can actually affect the screen and cause some issues with touch. So I don't think they even recommend a screen protector um, on the Zumos at all. And I've had no issues with mine. Both the Zumo now and the DMD products all have options where you can lock the screen to where rain or if you touch things on accident, they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to lock, and then you can unlock as needed. So in summary, just some of the things that stand out. The DMD devices being Android, it's just a game changer. Um, Getting the app DMD2 on the Play Store on the devices or on your personal device that you already have. The SIM cards, that's a big thing if you want to use a data plan through your cell phone provider for the DMD devices. Price, we'll go over that in a second. To me, the performance versus price for DMD is outstanding. The claimed GPS precision on the DMD, that's to be determined, but it seems like it has really good precise GPS. So I'm really curious to see if I ever drop any locations anywhere I go. We do a lot of BDR rides. We're doing Wyoming this year. Um, I don't see any issues with this at all. I will say the regular updates from DMD, and it's just amazing. So if you get on, I'll link it below as well. If you get on the Facebook page, DMD user group, it's very consistent updates, and they get pushed out fast. I mean, we're talking sometimes multiple updates in a week. If users are providing input and it's something that can be added, they will add it and push it out right away. So I really like that. You're not waiting for Garmin or somebody else to push out another update, weeks or months or whatever it is. This is a product that's evolving on a weekly basis, really. Handlebar controllers, I forgot to mention that. So Thork Racing is selling a new handlebar controller. It looks really good. I'm really thinking about trying one out. I don't have a lot of space on my bar, to be honest, because I already have a cruise control module. So I run an aftermarket MC Cruise cruise control, which I've ran on a previous bike as well. I'll probably do a review on that because I really think it's a great product. I'm sure many of you have used it. It's not a cheap product, but it works well. It really does work well. So I'm not sure if I'll try this controller or not. I haven't seen a need for it quite yet, but I would like to review it and kind of get a verdict out there for folks. And it looks amazing quality. It looks really well built. This isn't like a mass produced, like it says right here, not mass produced. So you know it's going to be built well. It can be connected via Bluetooth or via the data wires that are included in the harness with the tablet and phone. So that's great as well. So another great option. To me, the holders being so affordable as far as the lockable ones. So if you go and if you look at the prices, so I'm actually going to jump over to Adventure Tim's site. Um, so so right now, um, actually it's on back order, but the tablet's on sale for $624. The phone for $485. If you go down, the Cradle Lock add-on for the phone is $32. Really affordable in my mind. The controller, $265. And then if you want to get an extra, I actually don't see one. I believe the mount for the tablet is, yeah, here it is. So they're sold out, but $65. So if you compare this to, let me pull up Tour Tech. So again, I compared to this because this is just a really high quality mount. You know, you're looking at $200 for the Tour Tech mount. Really nice, but really expensive. Now, if you combine that, so the Zumo XT2 is $599 unless you find a deal somewhere. So if you add that with a good mount, you're looking at $800 plus tax plus shipping potentially. And so really for $624 plus, again, plus tax, you're getting, in my mind, a lot more for your money. It is a lot of money out at first, but for those that are really serious in navigation and want really good technology, I think it's well worth it. The phone may be a better option. So if you really compare the phone to the Zumo price wise, 485 plus if you go ahead and get the $32 mount, I mean, you're still barely over 500 compared to the 800. So in my mind, the performance to the price, DMD with Thork Racing, they win every day. Yes, it is a newer device, but so far I feel like it's proven itself. Garmin, I feel like they are on notice at this point because they've got to catch up because the Android system just has so many more options for us as riders to work with. And the OBD2 integration is a game changer for those that don't have the massive displays with all the tech and all the different things that, you know, all these new adventure bikes have. So I think that's another great thing. So those are really some of my thoughts on the comparisons between the two. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Zumo device is great. I used my XT for years with really zero issues. I put it through the ringer a lot. It went through all kinds of weather, probably hail at some point. Never had a crack, never had an issue except for the charging issue on the cradle. So I'm looking forward to see if this Thork Racing DMD device can stand up to the same conditions and work well. And the battery is really, longevity of the battery is something I'm looking at. My Zumo, I had it, you know, charging all the time. And so over the years, the battery does degrade, especially when it's charged 24/7. And so I'm curious to see how the batteries last with different conditions, heat and cold, on these DMD devices. So only time will tell. So, you know, maybe a year from now, I come back and I have a different tone about the devices. But as of right now, I can only say good things about it. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. And I hope this was helpful. And we'll show you some other scenes and some good footage of the devices. I appreciate it. Please make sure you subscribe and give us likes. This is a new channel. Kind of working through this with my 13-year-old son. So it's a great little father-son project. So thank you all.